Welcome to the homestead. Glad you're watching. Well, I started off with kittens, like every day, but I'm back from taking care of daughter's critters, and now I have to attend to this garden. Lots and lots of things are growing. God bless Lee, he did water, but he didn't pick, and so got a lot of picking to do. Got a lot of things that are overgrown this week, which is surprising. Corn's got tassels all over it. There's tomato fruit everywhere, which they're still green, but this is exciting. This is a good crop this year so far. Let's get to picking. Nice looking green bean. Okay, today's harvest of beans. Good deal. We should check the carrot. It's old. It might be big enough. It's right over there. Let me go check it. Okay, 1 carrot. I guess he could have went a little longer. I don't know when to check the carrots. I thought they got done pretty quick, but they're not. The carrots have tons of green, but not much root. It's a yellow one. This came from my colored ones, so they need to go a little longer. One of the things that I noticed and I just did was raked up the wood chips. That must have been some storm that happened the other day while I was gone, because my wood chips are clear over there and they started over here. So it must have had a big flood. What we need to do is get that ground over there in the center of the yard flowing middle again. It used to flow middle, but after we put the septic tank in, it swerved over to the left, and now it comes right through the garden. The garden itself gets a lot of water because it comes straight down this direction too. But the one that's the culprit is the one that's coming from the center of the yard. We watched it the last time we had a good storm. But Lee said there was 4.5 inches just through the night, so it was a river back here. I'm gonna get to hooking these things up. I got myself a pumpkin right here. Now to the cantaloupe. It's real important that they climb up, because it opens up the flowers to the bees, the pollinators, but also I planted them tight and they won't spread out very good in the tightness. They have to go up. And so unfortunately I was gone during the time they were really climbing, so they started grabbing a hold of things that pulled them forward instead of up, and so I had to break those little twirly things. Hope it doesn't hurt them. As I'm whipping them up, the bees are going into the flowers. See? It works. Look at there. That's a canary yellow melon. These look like yellow cricket neck. They're supposed to be eggplant. This is a cricket neck, and this is a cricket neck. So the question of the day is are those cricket necks or are they eggplant? I don't know. I'm going to have to go look it up on the internet because I don't want to over ripen these. So I got 4 cricket neck maybe. I got butterflies flying all over my camera. They're kind of parking themselves on the camera stand. Got lots of tomatoes growing everywhere. Let me show you all the tomatoes growing across the yard. There are tomatoes throughout here. They're so green I don't think you can see them, but they are right there. These are grape tomatoes. Okay, I gotta get out of this garden. It's very, very hot.
Well, I got off work and it's time for me to do stuff. So I'm going to get back on that cottage, start doing the things that it says need to be done. Not the things I already did, because those weren't really in the order, but I got them done anyway. Then I got to do some trim. Part of that involves getting on the roof. And I didn't want to do that. Well, Brenda didn't want me to do that, especially while she was not here. Not a good idea for Lee to be on the roof when there's nobody else on the property. Yeah, I'm a little accident prone. I get it.
Today I'm in the original cat play yard. It didn't work out so well. We didn't get it finished before the cat stopped playing out here. Anyway, it needs cleaned up. And then after I do this one, I'm going to go to the other cat area and clean that, because if you remember right, I never finished cleaning it. I did half of it, which is now grown up, but I never did the other half, so it's pretty thick. So I need to clean up that area as well. And so, let's do some weed eating. Okay, there's mosquitoes, so I've got to go get me some spray, and then we'll come back and do that. Okay, I left a couple little tufts of grass for them to play. I'll try to introduce them to this play area. The downside of the play area is you have to go clear around the other one to end up opening the gate in the very back. So it's not a very convenient way to get in and out. We should have put something right here in the front. But then I wouldn't be able to get to it anyway, because all those branches that broke that I threw over the fence, I never picked them up. They're still right below this camera line, and it's overgrown with weeds, and it's bad. Anyway, let's go to the other section and take care of that.
Okay, I'm going to get to putting the trim on that dormer up above my head there, but I need to trim off the edge, or the sheeting is hanging off about a ½ inch on this side. That won't allow me to put the trim up flush to the roofing panel. So I need to draw that out and then just shave it off real quick. Not a big deal. It shouldn't take me long. One thing I'm worried about is it's on and off again, really sunny, really hot, and I put shorts on. It may not have been advisable for crawling on the roof. I guess we'll see. Okay, that bit of trim is up. Interesting, you know, I tried to trim that basically 3/16 off this whole side so that it was flush with the framing. And I was thinking I must have measured it wrong somewhere. I don't think it was me, because the trim, which are also pre-cut pieces, came out absolutely perfect to the framing. So, I'm just saying, I think they were off a little this time. Ha! Not me.
Okay, cat area is done. Far cry from all those weeds that were standing super tall. And the kitten area, hopefully they'll go through those little flapper doors and go play in their little yard. There's plenty of things for them to play with out there. Sure hope they go through that little doggy door. And it's easy flap, it's just going through it. They would have went through the other one when they were playing in the window, but I locked that one because I didn't want them to fall out, because at that time they were too little, and I didn't want them to fall out and not be able to get back in. So anyway, it's late, but maybe there's time to do something else.
So I'm not real happy with the way the trim turned out on this side, or is turning out on this side. So I'm going to swap some pieces and cut some other pieces in between the windows. The ones that they give you are really wide, and they pretty much cover the entire frame and most of the glass, which is kind of crazy. So I'm going to cut up a couple of pieces and see how they look. See, the original ones go like that. I don't really like it. I think that looks better.
It is really hard to keep up with the weeds. You see the tall ones all around us. Yeah, they just keep growing, don't they? Anyway, this whole section near the RV, I need to get inside where Baxter's at, so I'll have to remove Baxter to do that. And so, I keep breaking the string. Lee keeps fixing it for me. I hit the fence and there you go. Anyway,